Alright, the gematria continues in flower parts. Amazing. So, correct female is called the pistil. Stamen. And the female part called the pistil. Right, because that's why it's connected to the ovary. The anthers carry the pollen. These are generally yellow in color. Pollen-bearing part is called the stamen. Okay, so this was reverse information. This is supposed to be down here, and this is supposed to be up here. Alright, so when you knit these together, carpal, female, that will be +1 offset, and same thing with that. Cool. Right. Okie dokie. Okay, so the pistil we solved, and alright, we did pretty good justice to the parts of the flower. Yeah, we've done some pretty good justice to that. Let us so the main word is, and we solved all the big words, the pistil is probably the flower pistil. Okay? The innermost part, innermost and part, both divide by 3, or both +1 for father, just like flower. Just like the word mother, okay, for all listening females. But Father is the name above all names by which Jesus told us we refer to God the Father. Stigma is situated at the top and the ovary is situated at the base. Wonderful. Okay, but the flower, I would say the flower pistil, and then the gynoecium collectively is all of them combined. Or another word for that. So, I'd say the word pistil is probably, and we already solved pistil for father. It was glaring. It's also 6 points offset from mother, if you wish. But God the Father, okay, pistil. Interesting, I'm curious as to the stroke count, and yeah, no, see, because mother has 6 letters and 17 strokes, but these letters have the correct number of strokes that divide by 3 to parallel father. Okay, so flower pistil. Basically, in short, probably the most famous word on the lips of men that God has prospered the most when you talk about the highest and the most central part of the inside of a flower, it's the pistil. Flower, pistil, father, father. So, by way of comparison, flower equals 79. Interestingly, flower equals mother, bang on the nose. But it more accurately, actually, that's impressive. Allow me to say something obvious here. That's actually really disturbing. This will blow your mind. Okay, now you know I get flowers for Mother's Day. Well, flower equals, this is where the strokes gets amazing. Flower equals 79 in 6 letters, 17 strokes, and that's the exact same thing for mother. That is very instructive, and it's very good theology, and it's very good preaching on the sovereignty of God. Okay, so yes, mother parallels father. Father is the name above all names. Jesus made that completely clear, and all science does. But here is a wonderful marvel on the dead equivalence between mother and flower. There you go. And I've had the Lord speak to me before that the word wife parallels flower. Okay? And very obvious, because the W and the E in the wife are the only letters that do not divide by 3, just like in flower. and the rest of these letters all divide by 3. Okay, and so much so that the offset is minus 36, which is a king offset from 6 times 6. It's just a king offset. 6 is from, okay. But that's amazing. That stroke for stroke, letter for letter, flower, mother. Pretty awesome. Okay. But we were, wow. But clearly, Father is the name above all names. That's what Jesus told us. That is the truth, and that is what all of science and gematria reveals. So the flower, pistil, 6 letters each. Very obvious what God is up to here. Okay, Father, Father, and they differ by 6. Like I said, anything that differs by 6, just glaring. Flower, pistil. Cool. So what's on top? Like what's at the dead center? So Father, Father. And then now if you pluralize and talk about flower, pistils, now you get a triple +1 +1 +1, and it's going to be beautiful. It's 183, same value as Christ the Redeemer, the statue in Rio de Janeiro. Okay. But who is on top? Father is on top. The flower pistil. 39. I'm just looking at stigma and wondering what else you can find in there. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this. I'm just wondering if you can pop off. No, you can't. I already checked that. Okay, I think we've done a pretty good job. Complete flower. Oh, I see what they were saying. And yeah, the carpal is another word for it. So go to the center, carpal, or pistil, Father. And then it's based on the top center of the stem, which is called the receptacle. How does receptacle compare to pistil and carpal? Receptacle contains, oh my gosh, here's another. So how does pistil and carpal relate again? The pistils of a flower are considered to be composed of carpals. I'm kind of confused by that difference. Oh, so the pistil is the larger word, because a pistil may consist of several carpals fused together. Fine. I'm here to preach the obvious, that carpal is 55, 3 less than Father, and it's literally sitting in the word receptacle. Like, this is so glaring for Father. Receptacle equals 88 on the top of the stem. Carpal equals 55 at the dead center of the reproductive portion. And 55 and 88 both offset from Father, which famous name Father, name above all names, which is on top, equals 58, same digits. Like, appreciate the beauty of this. Father equals 58. Parallels receptacle, parallels carpal, which are 55 and 88 respectively. The receptacle of the flower is the top of the stem. Okay. And disturbingly awesomely, it contains the word carpal. Whatever C you want, just grab this whole slew, and then the P there. Like, The only new letter it injects is the T. And amazingly, that's, of course, I mean, that makes 30. T plus C is 30 plus 3. It's like, there's the 55 from carpal plus 30 plus 3. Like a pretty obvious Trinity effect there. Okay. So, that's glaring for Father, the name above all names. Okay. Offsets from the Trinity. Carpal, receptacle. So the Father is at the center, and He's also on top. Well, look at your flower. Okay. Now this is giving me other verbs, but the receptacle is called this here. Perianth is all the petals, which is also Father. Articulation. Okay, we actually looked at that a lot already. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Yeah, the receptacle right there. Okay, I think we hit that pretty darn good. So yeah, strupper and carpal. Alright, so we hit that one pretty good. Oh, now you know why you memorized stuff. It's the glory of God to do so. I'm proud to say that God is going to be exalting teachers and scientists and all these behind the scenes people that actually love God's creation. You know, humble people like this in classrooms that will not be on a public television. Right, okay. Gynoeceum, we got that. Carpal, we got that. And all those divided by 3. But we solved the carpal in the name of the Father, and we solved the receptacle in the name of the Father. So that to me is huge. We basically hit the big words there. And then stigma equals Jehovah. And I wanted to see if there's anything else you could point out about that. You know, a single letter that divides by 3 in the middle. Stigma equals Jehovah. First 2 letters divided by 3. Kind of this flanking effect. There's similarities to the design of stigma and Jehovah. 33, wrapping it all. A lot of similarity between the design of, so the fact that stigma equals Jehovah, like, just take a deeper look. Stigma equals Jehovah. Central letter that divides by 3. Flanked in letters that knit together to this is so cool. Because HV equals 30, TG is 3 points less. Jove is pairwise 3 from the inside out, which is why I saw that in stigma. Okay. So if you wanted, you could paint these pairs green, and they add to 24. These ones add to 33. So that's very obvious to me. Okay. The stigma, which is in fact the very tip of the carpal in a flower, the top, on top, which is what receives the pollen. I gotta brush up on my Jehovah equals the stigma. Wow. I'm actually feeling inclined to point out the similarity actually between the word Father and the name Jehovah. I see glaring parallelism already for example, the bookends knit together to make a multiple of 6, differing by 6, and then that's confirmed by the AE inset, which equals 6. Okay. There's absolute strong correlation between Father and Jehovah. And then these are, yeah, and then 28 in the center there. How does that compare to this, 45? All right, I would compare it with 37. Okay, that, I was just showing the obvious there, and then this will knit together with other things. Okay, like when you talk about, you know, Jehovah's power, add a plural s, and that'll be exactly 30 points higher than Father. Okay, but Jehovah's name. So that's amazing, though, the beautiful parallelism between Jehovah and stigma. And it's quite dramatic, if I could be so bold, to point out even more. Like the O and the I at the center divide by 3. To the left is a +2. And so these differ by 6. Okay? An H is 6 off, an H is 12 off from a T, and I is 6 off from an O. Famous offsets. A V and a G are both +1s. And then an A is a +1, just like an M is a +1. This S is a +1, that corresponds with this one. And then you just finally have this knit together to make the final. Jehovah, stigma. Jehovah, stigma at the top of the carpal there. Is there anything else you want to see in the word stigma? I think that the obvious love's in there. Like the TG, half a love, or the SGA, half a love. Just like Jehovah is O wrapped in a pair of 27s, love. I think that's about it for now. And you can get two teams, two symmetrical teams of 33 and 36 in stigma. The TM is 33 and the rest is... Okay, stigma. Jehovah. Alright, we've done a lot to flower anatomy. Maybe we'll get some flower names here. Just take a quick... That was cool, though. Maybe we'll get into some individual flowers. It's pretty fun going to the root, though. Like if you solve the common names to everything and all the flowers, and that's pretty darn satisfying. Which we did a good job of. So the gynoecium of this flower has many pistils. So the gynoecium still is +1 for Father. And Mother, of course. Okay. Don't forget that, always. Okay. Pollen equals Jesus. You're like, wow. So what was the, oh yeah, carpal. So let's just do the obvious. And let's just say carpal plus pollen. Let's do that, because you have this obvious Father, this obvious Jesus. Actually, what's really awesome to me is that carpal, we've seen this, carpal is exactly 3 points less than Father, and pollen is actually flawless in its design for Christ, is actually 3 points less than Christ. So that's a very beautiful correlation. Okay. Carpal plus pollen, Father plus Christ. And we've seen this everywhere. We saw this in Lily of the Valley, the famous flower Lily of the Valley, where Lily equals Father and Valley equals Christ. Well, now here we see the carpal of the flower and pollen, two obvious related words, that are exactly, carpal is 3 points less than Father, and pollen is exactly 3 points less than Christ. So Father minus 3, you know. Father minus 3 plus Christ minus 3. Carpal plus pollen. Father plus Christ together. And what's the, let's see what, I just want to make sure I know. The anther produces pollen. Well, the pollen, does not the pollen arrive on the carpal? Is that the idea? I think the pollen goes from the, what's also interesting to me is that you can add anther plus stigma, and they're both divided by 3, and that yields a stunning love, love, half love. Very obvious combination. Both divided by 3, 66 and 69. Anther plus stigma. Kind of reminds me of the human body, where you have penis plus vagina. Now, I'm not, just whatever order, doesn't matter. For this purpose, it divides by 9. Both of them divide by 3, okay? Sovereignty of God for the Trinity. But you're finding love in all this. Like, vagina equals love, and penis is love plus 9. And there's your love in both of them. There's your love in both of them. And so it seems very obvious to me that anther plus stigma is love plus half a love. And these differ by 3. Just glaring to put anther and stigma together, just like penis and vagina. I'm curious, which one is the male is the anther, right? That's what I believe. Okay. Fine. And okay. Stamen. Yeah. The anther produces pollen, and then the pollen arrives. Okay. All right, I think I've done a pretty good justice to that. Let's get to a few flower names. That was actually pretty cool. We're just in the flower morphology, as it should be. Floral. Flora and fauna are both +1 for father. Floral. So the word flower, the word floral, and the word fauna and fauna are all +1 for father. Floral. Floral parts is then a +1 triple. To divide by 3, okay. So it's father here. The essential parts of a flower can be considered in 2 parts. The vegetative part consisting of on the receptacle. So key words here that are +1. Whorl, father. Receptacle, father. The 4 main whorls, starting from the base of the flower to lowest node and working upwards, are as follows. So many names. And the apex is the top, which is father. The corolla, composed of units called petals. This is so crazy. Even that parallels Jesus. Okay. The outermost whorl consisting of units called sepals. Right. So, okay. Corolla is on top. So this is what I wanted to preach, is that calyx and sepals okay, are the supporting, corolla is on top, +1, and petals, and they differ by 3. So, corolla, we talked about that, they differ by 3. Corolla, petals, father, consisting of petals, which would be sin. Okay. Man's house. Interesting. That's amazing. So the androecium and the gynoecium, in particular, man's house, is also +1. And that's glaring. Letters and strokes divided by 3, just like in father. Ay caramba. This is just crazy. 9 letters, 21 strokes. That exactly parallels father, man's house. Father, man's house. But then it's called the androecium. 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 And how does that compare to the female component? I didn't spell that in order. Androecium. That's amazing. How much you want to bet you can find father in those letters perfectly. The A and E is irresistible. I just quickly poke around near the center just to see. There's love at the center. That was a big find. And I'm sure with a little bit of patience and time you can find father precisely in that. And the female is what? Gynoecium? Gynoecium. 112. 9 points difference. Can you find love in that as well? I'm zeroing in on this and just seeing if you can get the extra. What did you need? You needed a 22. Not seeing that at face value. That's fine though. What are the common words, letters in this? Because that's where the common letters are the N's, which is 66 apiece, which equals happy, equals wedding, I believe. And then so all this in the front provides your +1 offset, being 37 and 46. Okay. I'm curious. Father and mother differ by 21. And these differ by 9. Okay. That's crazy. Okay. And we solve the carpal. And then yeah, pollen equals Jesus. I'm curious what happens when you put... Oh, I know what you should put together with pollen. Egg, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, this is glaring. Because remember how sperm parallels Jesus? Oh, this is glaring. So this is a great revelation for science and mankind. So sperm equals 71, and its design, it mathematically parallels Jesus. Okay? With 3 plus 1s. Sperm is flawless for Jesus. Okay? With the 3 plus 1s, just like JSS, the 1 E plus 2, and the 1 letter divides by 3. So, and it's 3 points less than Jesus. And then you have pollen. which is the flower equivalent of sperm, which equals Jesus bang on the nose. Now pollen, in its letter-by-letter design, more accurately parallels Christ. It's 3 points less than Christ. And so this is amazing to me. Literally, sperm is most accurately Jesus minus 3. Okay, so the Trinity is glorified there. And then pollen equals Jesus, but I would say in its design, absolutely, pollen equals Christ minus 3. Because in pollen you have the, I've already mentioned it before, you have the 2 plus 2s, just like here. You have the single plus 1, just like here. And then the other 3 letters all divide by 3. Okay? So this is a huge revelation for mankind. Okay? That sperm equals Jesus minus 3, and pollen equals Christ minus 3. See how much patience is required to get these amazing gems? It took us a long time to get to this place. Sperm, that's amazing. And then what happens? Well, the sperm unites with an egg, which is what I felt led to mention. Also known as an ovum. Like, I believe if you, that's ultimately what happens, right? The ovary is producing eggs, and you have a pollen grain. The word grain is plus 1 for father, but I love preaching on details. Like, you call it a pollen grain. This is so cool, because pollen is Christ. Grain has the offset of father. So Christ plus father, which we've seen all over the universe, is exactly 1, 2, 3. Like, it's always a beautiful number that screams out 3 when you put together Christ plus father. It's always very obvious, very beautiful. There's like chain linking with 3s and bookending with 3s. In fact, there's double bookending here, and technically there's basically like massive chain linking because the E and the A hook up and the rest of the letters all divide by 3. So a pollen grain. Well, pollen is Christ, grain is father, pollen grain, Christ plus the father, heavenly 3s, unity, Trinity glorified, Holy Ghost is in there. Okay. But we've done this before where sperm plus egg get together, okay, to make 90. But now I want to do pollen. Now I want to see if it's an ovum. You can substitute the word ovum and it obviously works. So obvious 3s, there you go, okay. But I want to see what the term is. Pollen, is it pollen plus ovum? What is the scientific community? Pollen plus egg, is that what they call it? What happens? Yeah, the egg cell. Pollen tube, here we go. To transport the male gamete cells from the pollen grain, either from the stigma to the ovules at the base of the pistil, the whole point is that it arrives at the egg. What's the egg cell, which waits in place for fertilization. The ovaries hold the ovules that produce the female gamete. Man, gamete's a beautiful 3/5. The egg cell which waits in place for fertilization. So once a pollen grain settles on a compatible pistil, this is another glaring combo. Like, it's true. People will just say the pistil, like that's the most famous. So pollen, Christ, pistil, father. Put these 2 6-letter words together. It's so obvious. So pollen plus pistil. It's going to be gorgeous. Beautiful, 3 fast, 159. Add the word the if you want. Back to our story here. Once a pollen grain, it may germinate in response to truth. Oh yeah, so multiple grains of pollen just stimulate quickly the pollen to grow from someone. So then produces the pollen, then carries the sperm cells with the side pollen. The sperm cell will join with the egg cell, and then the central cell. In double fertilization, germinate pollen. All this verbiage to say One of them. Oh, one of the pollen tubes. And so when the two get together, it makes an embryo which divides by 3. You can just solve more things. A diagram is lovely. Ovary, egg, anther. This is so cool. Put together obvious words. Anther divides by 3, as does ovary. Well, check them out. 66 and 81. Beautiful threes, put them together. You got the 6 days of creation pattern. Beautiful interleave. Anther plus ovary. Well, what's in the anther? The pollen, also known as the sperm, and the ovary, of course, the egg. Anther plus ovary. Bang, bang. Okay, 90-90, kind of like penis plus vagina. Threes, threes. Anther plus ovary. In fact, it's just silly how beautiful the comparison is. They differ by 30 exactly. Like, that's pretty glaring, isn't it? Anther plus ovary, 147. Penis plus vagina, 147. Welcome to the awakening, folks. Every letter is what it's supposed to be. I'll bet you if you do letter for letter analysis on this, you'd see a lot of similarities too between these two words, like an E and an N. 66 and 63, they differ by 3. And these both divide by 9. Like, that's huge. Like, anther, that's glaring. Anther is 66, penis is 63. Ovary is 81, divides by 9. In fact, it's 9 times 9. Ovary is love plus half love. Vagina equals love. There you have it, folks. You saw it here first. And it's all very well and simple. And then you can notice that an A plus an R equals an S. And then just compare the P and the I, which makes 25 to be 3 points less than the TH. Like, just glaring how anther, mathematically for the Trinity, points to penis, like, perfectly. And then ovary points to vagina. I mean, like this is love. Vagina equals love. Penis is love plus 9. That's just ridiculously awesome. Ay caramba. And then so other, obviously, ovary, vagina, VA. Oh, and then the O comes on to the end here to equal an NA. And then an I and an R both divide by 9, differing by 9, be 9 and double 9 respectively. And then this Y differs from the G by exactly double 9. So it's just glaring the comparison between ovary and vagina and anther and penis. Done. And we just solved, like, there it is, folks. Here's your flower. Here's your penis, anther right here, mathematically, like, flawless in its design. Here is your vagina, ovary down here, which contains the egg. So fascinating. But the perfection of the verbiage is what we're after. Macrospore, ovule. We solved meiosis and mitosis for Jesus flawlessly, both words flawlessly, parallel Jesus. You can watch that video, dig that up from my previous. Mitosis, meiosis, mitosis, those words perfectly parallel Jesus in their design. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, the JESS corresponds with the MESS or the MTSS, and it's interlaced with 3. It's very obvious who owns meiosis and mitosis. It's Jesus. That's the name declared there. I wouldn't be surprised if you could find Father in those also. Like, with a little bit of homework, just poke around, see if you can find, 58 and all that stuff. I don't know, you'd have to pop off 31. I don't really feel like I need to do that right now. But yeah, I just found it. If you pop off these letters, the rest equals Father. EOSS, there's a 58 Father. Okay. Um, could you do the same thing in mitosis? Pop off 31. 13 plus. Yeah, pop off the M and the I and the I. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, I already did that. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that was in, right, now I have a different offset with mitosis, excuse me. Now you have to drop off 46. That's going to be a bit more challenging. There's love at the center of that. Oh, there's the famous is at the dead center of Father. And there's two of them. So I see that being glaring for Father, and IS and IS at the dead center of Father. The more you look, the more you see. Cool. Alright, let's keep going. Marcus 4, ovule. The egg. So, it ultimately comes down to sperm plus egg again. Pollen tube, pollen grain, which we talked about. But the coolest thing was that pollen paralleled sperm. Remember this equation? Pollen and sperm for Jesus and Christ, like Jesus verbatim. Just that is so glaring, okay? Hopefully you can see enough of this that it's, as long as you can hear my voice. Okay, I think we hit that out of the park. Microspore, kind of like microscope, is going to be a father-father one too. And then the macrospore. Isn't that awesome? So pure and simple. Let's just hold on. Micro equals father. What is spore? Because I know microscope is father, father. And then you have the macrospore. This is funny. This is so glaring to me, how you put the micro together with the macro. I love God. Micro equals father. Macro is going to parallel Jesus being minus 24. So you put together Father plus Jesus. Oh my gosh. And there it is again. Micro plus macro equals double love. Equals worship equals love plus love. But it's the fact that micro equals Father and macro parallels Jesus. Okay? You put the two together, Father plus Jesus. Father in blue. Micro plus macro equals double love. Amazing. That's amazing. So micro is Father, which is plus 4 on top of love. Macro is 4 points less on top of less than love. 58 and 50. Macro parallels Jesus. So I would like to write Father plus Jesus as the parallel equation. Because remember, Father plus Jesus is beautiful threes. Father plus Christ is love plus half of love. So very obvious. Okay. That's so cool. And then spore, oh my gosh, equals number. So a microspore is a father, just like that. Alright, very simple. Okay, that was awesome. Alright, so we did good justice to that. The embryo. So cool. I think that's why scientists ended up studying God's works, because they just got so bored with man's works. They're like, this is actually pretty boring. Like, as cool as engineering is, like, it'll never compare to nature that God hath made. Like, it just never will. I mean, God didn't make any mistakes in the Garden of Eden. And he's sovereign over everything, but I'm like, Jesus told us there's more glory in a single lily than all the riches of Solomon. The nectary. Okay, is there anything else you want to get out of that? Amazingly, pollination and fertilization both parallel Christ, just like pollen equals Christ. Like, you're just like, I think we got the big ones out of there though. And then, okay, we went deep, we got to the, so did we actually did I end up, yeah, I did sperm plus egg, pollen plus egg. Obvious combos. Now, what's interesting to me is that egg, of course, obviously parallels mother. And the female mother provides the egg. And so egg, watch this, so mother equals 79. And egg equals 19. Isn't it glaring? The offset of 60. Sixes are the king offset from everything. The even number 6 for the Trinity, okay? So the fact that mother is 60 points higher than egg is glaring. Okay? So the mother provides the egg. Cool. Now, it's like, can you find the egg in mother? No, because you need to get 19, but that's fine. Okay. A G and a G, what does that add to? 14. Interesting. You can't actually get that in mother, but that, okay. Another word for egg is the ovum, and that equals, aha, that is also odd. I was waiting for that to be odd as a little proof here. See that? Out of my own mouth. We just talked about sixes. Well, the ovum is exactly, mother is 6 points higher than ovum. Egg, mother is 60 points higher than egg and 6 points higher than ovum. Amazing. So, mother provides the egg, also known as the ovum. There you have it, ladies and gentlemenos. Wow. That did not disappoint one bit. Okay. Very fascinating. Okay, I think we've hit flower parts pretty good. Everything inside of you wanted to go as deep as you could possibly go. That's what scientists do. They pick it apart until they have exhausted what they've seen. They've gone as deep as possible, and then they got their satisfaction, and they're like, okay. So we went sufficiently deep here. I feel good about that. Okay, we did that pretty good. Ay, caramba. Flower fertilization. Yeah, so I mean, here's the classic. So here it is, the fusion of an ovum with a sperm, which first creates, do we want to solve all this? If you spell it like that, it's +1 for father. Is the fusion of gametes. Gametes +1. Gamete is a glaring Trinity experience, but then when you pluralize, it's +1 for father. This is so cool. Like, we might as well just solve some more big level words before we get into individual flowers, because everything related to sex. So, gamete is a glaring Trinity experience where you get pairwise threes from the inside out, because it's 3 + 1s followed by 3 + 2s, so the obvious thing to do is marry them one at a time from the inside out. And that's very stunning because you get 18, 21, and 12. Just very beautiful. Gamete, just like Jehovah. Okay, but then when you pluralize it, which you should, Then you get your +1 offset for father, and it's a nice even number. Father plus 12, the name above all names. And then you can note the obvious, like the 3 plus 2's occupy the same position in both words, differing by 3. And A occupies the same position. Okay. Thereby the E occupies the exact same position. Like, let's put the name Father on top of gametes. Okay, God the Father created all gametes and is sovereign over the name. And so look at the obvious that we've already pointed out. And then you have nothing left to do but collect the 3's that are sitting in your lap. The FR is 24, and the GMS is 39. So their father owns all the gametes in the world. Okay, he created them all, just like the Bible says. So is the fusion of gametes to create the development of a new individual organism? Well. The word organ is flawless for father. And then organisms, just like gametes.